Well, hello there, Gemini. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I am so grateful that you're here. So today we are doing your December reading. We're going to take first a look at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot for more details. And I hope you are truly enjoying this new energy. Pluto has finally moved into Aquarius, and it is just such a much more expansive energy. So we'll see how that may be playing out in the month of December. So let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you. Sandpiper spirit, be playful. Okay, now I'm going to say, especially after 15 years of Pluto in Capricorn in your 8th house, Gemini, it is time for you to have some fun. I really and truly kind of feel like this is a little bit of getting out of jail card, right? It's kind of like when you were a kid and, the last day of school and the bell rings at the end of the day and all the kids run out of the school and it's like so excited that summer vacation has started. It's time to play. It is time to play. You have had 15 years of hard work. That Pluto in Capricorn in your 8th house. I'm a Gemini sun. I get it. It's been topsy-turvy, and it's a little bit of understanding that you're on the other side. It's really embracing that energy of, okay, I really can go play. Because I think sometimes when we have a long transit like that is difficult. It puts us into the energy of, is there just more difficulty ahead? And this is, first card out, Spirit coming in and saying, no, you can go play, Gemini. You can go play. It's time. You earned it. You truly earned it. Flow, let Goddess blessings enrich your life. Yes. It's almost, the 8th house is about paying, some of that karmic debt, is whether it's yours, family, ancestral, this lifetime, past lifetime, is a little bit about understanding, okay, you did your chores. That's the message I'm getting. You did your chores. It is time for you to allow yourself to really start creating the life that you really dreamed of. For some of you, the last 15 years was about tearing down things that really weren't in alignment with where you are going now, right? Whether you wanted those things to leave or not. It was Pluto coming in and saying, this is not in alignment with where you're going, with a much more happy, playful, fulfilling, abundant life. So Pluto has allowed us to clear all of that out one way or another. And now it's about allowing yourself to enjoy, to open your heart, to get ready for adventure. I'm going to say it is kind of interesting because Pluto is now in your 9th house of travel, of adventure, of new cultures, of trying new things, right? Stepping out of your comfort zone, but not being fearful of it. It's kind of like, I can't wait to get into this boat and go somewhere. You see how he is, he's standing up. He's like, he's not fearful. He's not sitting down with a life jacket on and, praying that he doesn't get tossed overboard, right? He's kind of like, no, I'm empowered. It's the energy of being empowered, of knowing that you are on the right path and it is time to take a risk. It says, take a risk, venture forward. In other words, don't allow yourself to stay small any longer. Sometimes, even though the sandpiper is one of the smallest birds on, when you go to the beach, it's one of the smallest birds. They are so playful, right? They really enjoy. I always think the sandpipers are just so enjoyable to watch. They just enjoy every single moment of being there, right? Like sometimes I think the seagulls look a little bit, kind of, stern. Let's put it that way, kind of stern. And the sandpipers are always just so playful, just running around, right? Enjoying, you see them in the water, right? Along the shore. You see them actually running in and out of the little waves that come in. Where the seagulls, you never see them in the water now that I'm thinking about it. The sandpipers are just like part of their journey is is just to enjoy life. And I feel like for so long, you have not been able to there's been points, I'm not going to say the last 15 years were every single day was torture, right? But there was that overall theme of protection because you understood, oh my goodness, this is really kind of amazing. I'll have to admit, the very last day of Pluto in Capricorn, I was just like a weepy, right? I was weepy. It was like, oh my gosh, like, it's finally the end. It's finally the end. Yeah, and here it is. Here's your difficult ending, the Three of Swords. It's almost like you may be even kind of like, reflecting. There's a little bit of energy of reflecting on everything that you may have had to go through, or all of the things that you may have lost during the last 15 years. Especially, we have 9 and 10. This is the number 9 and the number 10, right? It's the Three of Swords, really, but it's the number 9 there. The last 9 or 10 years, I think. It's kind of like allowing yourself to take a moment to see yourself, not in the emotional part of it, but perhaps allowing yourself to pull back from it and to look at it objectively. Allowing yourself to see how well you handled those disappointments, right? Those difficult endings, those situations that you just thought were going to happen over and over again. The status quo, right? It's kind of like this. There were probably times like it was an energy of this is never going to end. It's only going to be one tower moment after another. I know. I was there. I was there. And just recognizing, that we can allow ourselves to break free from it. The Libra energy. Break free from the people, the situations, the mindset, okay, that kept us in that energy with the Libra energy there, out of balance. Something had to come back into balance. And the thing that had to come back into balance was you. Allowing yourself to use your intuition to guide you on the path. And the 9 of Pentacles, I love that. Independent. Understanding that people or situations that are no longer in your life, especially from 9 or 10 years ago, that they had to disconnect from you, or you had to disconnect from them. Does not matter which way it happened. It really and truly doesn't. It had to occur so that you could find your own independent path, to learn how to use your intuition as you moved forward. Because it's kind of like the 3D world. There could have been parts over the last 15 years where the 3D world was crumbling, literally crumbling, that tower coming down, crumbling around you. People, situations, jobs, homes, family members, whatever it is, suddenly gone. And you could not perhaps logically try to figure your way out of it. At some point, you finally learned how to listen to your intuition and use it as a guide to move forward. For some of you, you could have even had moments where you intuitively knew something was going to end, but you chose to stay anyway. You chose. And allowing yourself to ask yourself, why did you choose to stay, right? I guarantee you, we probably all have one of those situations, whether it's a job, a career, a home, people, that we allowed ourselves to stay attached to for one reason or another. That's where the lesson is, right? That's where we can say, I stayed because I was afraid to go my own way. I didn't think I could make it on my own with the 5 of Pentacles, right? I didn't think I had enough. Enough what? Enough gumption, enough money, enough attractiveness, enough intelligence, or whatever it is. And then asking yourself, why did you believe that? Why did you believe you didn't have enough? Because when you can allow yourself to get to the point to using your intuition in order to guide you, you realize that you aren't alone, right? You have the spirit realm helping you. You have your spirit guides, your angels that are helping you. You're tapping into that energy of your higher self. And in that case, you're not fearful anymore, because you know it's all going to work out for your highest good. When you can get into the energy of being calm and trusting as you move forward, right, then you can stand up in the boat. You're not fearful of falling overboard. You don't have 3 life jackets on and some rope tethered to you and the boat, right? It's the energy of understanding that this process helped you to truly transform into somebody that I bet if you go back 15 years or even 9 or 10, you would say, I am not that person anymore. And part of you, I'll have to admit, because Aquarius energy, Pluto is in Aquarius, part of Aquarius energy is that Aquarians can be very nostalgic. There could be a part of you right now that kind of wishes you could go back to another day, another time, another period of your life, perhaps at the beginning of that 15 years, right? That there were parts of that you do miss. There are people perhaps that you miss, or a sense of safety and security that you may miss. And yet at the same time, it's an illusion. Understanding that it was an illusion. Yeah, because you have the 4 swords. You've done the healing, right? You had to go deep within to find yourself, to find your way, to use your intuition. You may have been betrayed a lot from different people over this 15 years. That 8th house is all about secrets, right? You may have been betrayed several times, especially with the 3 of swords and the 10 of swords. And understanding that part of that path was helping you to find your way, to listen to your intuition when you're dealing with other people. Door to spirit. So, look at this. You have the 1st chakra and the 5th chakra. Door to spirit. Spirit helped you to understand. The root chakra is all about safety and security, and the 5th chakra is all about speaking your truth. Both of these are perhaps things that you have really helped to heal over the last 15 years. A sense of finding safety and security in yourself, knowing that you're never alone, knowing that spirit is always with you, right? Understanding that part of this process is to help you to understand you don't have to be tethered to somebody else or to a job or to a mindset or to a belief. You can cut the cord, and that is the difficult thing, is that there's been a lot of cutting of the cord over the last 15 years. I heard this thing the other day, and it was something. Pluto's all about transformation, right? And that the very first time, we called the death card in tarot, and the very first death that we experience. And death just means that something comes to an end so something new can begin. And that happens when we're born. When the doctor cuts the umbilical cord. We're no longer tethered to our mother. Our mother that has kept us safe and secure for 9 months, right? And has fed us and given us everything that we have needed for those 9 months. All we had to do was literally, sit and rest and get ready for our debut. And so when the umbilical cord is cut, that is the first time we are kind of like put out into the world to be on our own. Of course, we still are reliant on the adults in our life, but it's the first time where the food isn't just provided through the umbilical cord, right? The oxygen isn't just provided to us. We do have a little bit more going on, a little bit more independence. And I feel like part of it is learning that being cut from, having that tether cut from some people or situations. Although it's scary, at the same time, it allows you to be free to go in the direction that you really want to go in. And the more that you're willing to allow yourself to not be tethered to things or thoughts or people, the more freedom you actually are gaining, right? The more ability you have to co-create, to be playful. And it doesn't mean that we don't want people in our life. Don't get me wrong, right? But it's understanding that it has to be balanced, right? You have the Libra energy. It has to be balanced in order for you to allow yourself to stay in situations. Because your obstacle here is that your intuition is calling you. Your intuition. Now you have the sixth chakra, right? It's allowing your intuition to guide you towards the next new thing. You have the Ace of Pentacles here, right? I think you're going back and forth. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I go in a new direction, if I go on this great adventure, if I start something new, especially perhaps in romance, okay, then what's going to happen? Is it going to come crashing down? When we allow ourselves to even consider that, okay, then there's part of us that's saying no to it. And one of the things about back and forth is understanding that when we're not all in, when we don't say, I'm willing to get into the boat, I'm ready to go on this adventure. And if it turns over, flips over, I'll figure it out. If, a hole suddenly appears in the boat, I'll figure it out. Right? It's kind of like not allowing yourself to, I have to admit, now that I'm thinking about it, back before 15 years ago, if I was the mom that when my kids were young, still in diapers, my diaper bag probably weighed like 20 pounds. I'm serious. I took everything that, I don't care if it was, we were going to be gone an hour to the grocery store and come back, right? It was like, I think about those days where I just literally dragged everything that we may need for 1 hour, whether we actually used it or not. This is you understanding that when we're tethered to all those things and tethered to the concept of, well, what happens if something happens? What will I need? And then filling the boat with all of this stuff, then you're weighing yourself down. You're weighing the boat down. The boat can't go as fast. It can't move forward that fast. I think you've spent the last 15 years unloading the boat of things that just aren't necessary, right? And allowing yourself to be lighter so that you can be more playful. And some of the things that you had to toss out of the boat are those mindsets that, well, I have to take this person with me because they're a family member, or I have to take this job because I have to allow myself to have a job with benefits. I have to have benefits. I have to have a retirement plan. I have to. All the haves, all the shoulds. You've tossed them one by one over the side. And Spirit was working with you, helping you to identify, if I hold on to this idea that I have to have this, right? Then Spirit came in to show you that you really didn't. That you could still survive, right? Root chakra. You would still be okay if you didn't have that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I had 3 children, and one of my children really, I loved his pacifier. It was just amazing, right? I thought we're never going to, but it is kind of interesting when instead of taking the pacifier, I tried hiding it. I tried, oh, I can't find it. I tried. And then it was kind of like one day when I sat down and I said, well, why do you think you need the pacifier or whatever? I mean, honestly, he was like, I don't know. I don't think I do. And we had a little ceremony and said goodbye to the pacifier, and the pacifier was gone. I mean, literally, it's kind of like that is maybe you're getting better at allowing yourself to throw things out of the boat that you don't have to have anymore. It's getting easier maybe for you to see when something really isn't in alignment with what you want. And you're allowing yourself to use your intuition to guide you on that, right? To seeing, to almost like playing it out. If I keep this, like, what would, how does that play out as I'm on this great adventure? Yeah, I really like this because your advice here is to go forward with a loving heart. I think once again, there is this sense you may be much more spiritual now, understanding. There's something here, understanding maybe that humans, okay, can sometimes have their own agenda, right? That isn't in alignment, that isn't balanced for what it is that you want for your life, that they could be a little bit controlling. And what you're understanding is that your intuition, your spirit guides, your higher self will never do you wrong, right? When we listen to our heart instead of what people are telling us, that all of a sudden we can understand that when we follow our heart, when we follow our intuition, we are leading ourselves to something beautiful out there. 3 of Wands, ready to see what else is out there. Ready to untether ourselves, unshackle ourselves from situations that really aren't in alignment, right? And understanding. I think you've unloaded a lot from the boat. You've already unloaded a lot from the boat. But the process isn't ever finished. It's kind of like, have you ever really taken some time to really organize your house? You throw out all the clutter, all of the old spices that are clogging up your kitchen and been there for 5 years and probably have bugs growing in them or whatever. It's kind of like, you do all that deep cleaning. You've done that for the last 15 years. This deep cleaning of people and things and situations that no longer fit in your boat, right? But your boat is a little bit on the empty side. It's not about now let's go out and buy a bunch of stuff and put it in the boat, or gather a lot of stuff, or gather a lot of new people. It's about being much more discerning about who and what comes into the boat. Allowing yourself to listen to your intuition, to read the energy of a person or an object or a situation or a job offer, right? Allowing yourself to read that intuitively and allowing yourself not to get in the ego and saying, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I'll do that, right? As Geminis, we can get highly distracted. It's a little bit of slowing down and playing it out a little bit in our mind's eye. Yeah, it's time to have fun. And if you go out and you just fill the boat right back up, you're just going to be burdened. It's going to be kind of like the last 15 years were for naught, right? It's kind of like you're going to be right back there. And I think that's what Spirit is saying. I feel like there's almost this energy of, oh my gosh, I get to go play, right? Where can I go play? What can I gather? What can I do, right? But Spirit is saying, be discerning. It's been a lot of work to unload so many things from your boat. And it's not about going out there and just gathering up a bunch of stuff and filling the boat up again. Yeah, it's really kind of a beautiful energy. I do want to say there is love on the way. There's love on the way when you're not attached, double energy, Capricorn energy, not attached to bringing in the love. You know, it's kind of like having an open heart, having an open boat, and not being super attached to having another person in the boat with you. But knowing, having a deep knowing that you know somebody is going to join you on your journey. It's an energy of being calm and patient and just a sense of knowing, right? Knowing is going to happen and not worrying about how am I going to get it. That is what the universe is in charge of. Our job is to dream what it is that we want, to focus on that. Really asking yourself, what do you want? Pluto in Aquarius is going to be here for the next 20 years. What is it that you would love to see occur in your life over the next 20 years? What experiences would you like? And don't allow yourself to then make a vision board or a list of those experiences you would like to have in the next 20 years, and then just go out and fill the boat with other stuff, right? It's kind of like, no, I'm only putting the things in the boat. I'm being more discerning. I'm using more discretion. I'm not just letting everybody in my boat. I'm not letting everything in my boat. I'm being very much more discerning of what gets in my boat, because I want to move towards what it is. I don't want to take care of things that are in my boat that really aren't in alignment with those experiences that I'm wanting to have over the next 20 years. Yeah, this is about really kind of breaking out of the mold of allowing yourself to say no to people and situations, having healthy boundaries with other people, having healthy boundaries with yourself, right? Understanding that if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't take care of our vessel, then we're not going to have the health, physical, mental, emotional health to move forward towards these adventures, towards these playful times. We're going to be distracted then by trying to heal ourselves in one way or another. Heal ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all of the things you've already had to do. It's kind of like you have a blank slate. Don't allow that slate to be clogged up with people and situations that aren't on your path, aren't meant to be on your path, and allowing yourself to use your intuition as you go forward. Not to be manipulated, not to be, I feel like you understand that energy of manipulation, of somebody manipulating you to get what it is that they want out of you. And maybe even in the past, they convinced you that it was good for you. And now you know the difference, especially when you allow yourself to listen to your intuition. Really kind of a powerful message here. All right, well, Gemini, let's pull a final card for some final advice. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, interesting. This one popped out, so we're taking it, and then we'll take one more. If I had a magic wand and could have anything I desired in life, what would I choose? And I think that I know, Gemini, I know for some of you, you could be in the energy of, I don't want to dream anymore. I'm only going to be disappointed, because that is what I've experienced, right? This is knowing that the tide has turned. Your boat is empty and it's ready for adventure. You're ready for adventure. It's allowing yourself to ask that important question. If you had a magic wand, what would you desire to have in your life at this time? Burn with desire. There is power in your desires. Let them be your fuel today. Your desires are your soul's wings, and it's time to take flight, right? That energy of understanding. I have my desires. I have my list of experiences that I want to have in my life. And nothing gets in this boat that isn't in alignment with those desires. Yeah, really powerful. I'm getting kind of, okay. From whom can I release my judgment right now? Okay, here's the message I'm getting. I think for some of you, and we're going into holiday season, so let's be a little bit mindful, and this is your December reading, right? That I feel like there's this energy of not sitting on your laurels. I'm going to say that, and preparing yourself for 2025. And one of the things to recognize is that your boat is empty. And there are some times during this time of year, a sense of obligation to making other people happy, right? There's almost this energy of allowing yourself to say, am I allowing myself to partake in certain activities or traditions or events, right? Just because I have this sense of obligation. And then asking yourself, why are you tethered to that? There's this energy of understanding that things that we're tethered to, okay, are not necessarily good for us. Understanding that it's time to cut the cord to some of that. Is it overindulgence of food, of drink, of merriment, right? Of overspending at the holidays on gifts or decorations or whatever. It's allowing yourself to say, you know what, I emptied that boat. I worked really hard to empty that boat, and I'm not going back to those old habits, those old mindsets, especially if they're super traditional. There is a little bit of energy here of breaking free, right? Of saying, I think the world can have, I think that there's more to life than what I have been taught. And understanding that intuitively, if you don't have the energy, if you're saying to yourself, but I have to do this, or I should do this, those are the things that you threw out of the boat. Keep that in mind. Allowing yourself to spend the month of December, perhaps allowing yourself to say, what are some new ways I'd like to celebrate the holidays? Perhaps it's not about giving to people that are in my life that already have enough. Perhaps it's about allowing myself to see what is the bigger picture, especially with that Aquarian energy. What is better for the global society rather than just a few? And I'm not saying that you don't also give a small gifts or whatever to the people that you love and you appreciate in your life, but also seeing it's not, we get so wrapped up in that, right? It's kind of like, what are other ways I can give? And it doesn't have to be a tangible gift. It's that smile. It's a hug. It's a well-crafted letter to somebody, right? It's understanding that when we can share our love with other people in an open way without feeling like it's an obligation or you're tethered to them in some way, it allows there to be a much happier, playful energy between you and that other person. Yeah, I think it's really about taking a look at how we show up, right? And how we may judge ourselves or judge others, especially this time of year. And allowing ourselves to release from that and just asking ourselves, what's in my best interest? What does my intuition tell me about how I want to perhaps create some new traditions in my life? Wow, powerful energy. Yeah, there's something here, I think, about not starting the year 2025 in the hole, okay? You know, going to too many parties or whatever. Not that parties are bad, but it's kind of like overindulging, right? Gaining 5 or 10 pounds, right? Overspending and having a big pile of debt on New Year's Day. It's a little bit about asking yourself, how do I want to show up on New Year's Day? What is the energy I want to have that day? Because there's something beautiful here for you, right? You are definitely going into an energy of things that you are committed. Look at the judgment card is here too. Yeah, judging what it is that you deserve and allowing yourself to really make decisions based on that rather than the shoulds and the have-tos. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. I love you so much. Thank you so much for all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.